What is going on, guys? I got that Gene with me, the Silverback. How's it going, Thad?
Awesome. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate that.
Dude, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. We've been trying to do this for quite a while. I was
Yeah.
at your PFL fight, and now 3 months later, I actually think it's better that we're doing this now. You know, you've been able to marinate and digest all the information and really reflect. And so I'm really excited to do this. So thank you again for this.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure. And how was the fight? Did you like it?
Oh my God, man, it was electric.
There you go.
It
So
was
awesome. Did you get my brother? Gone crazy.
Oh my God, your brother, your family. I'm sure you had some friends there. I mean, the whole
Yeah,
crowd
a
was there
couple
for
of friends.
you.
A lot of friends. Yeah. I appreciate that mom for coming out to support me. Even though we're all from, they traveled, we had a good time. Some traveled from other states to come down, all the way from Cali to come down to watch me fight. So I can appreciate my family and friends. I'll call them all family who came out to support me. It's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, Silverback Nation.
Silverback Nation, baby.
Yes, sir. And before we get started, you want to shout out your social media so that way we can get some more Silverback Nation out there?
Yeah, man. Hey, go follow me first. It's simple. It's my first name, Thad_Gene. Come watch me. Come follow my fitness journey, my fight journey, and just my life itself. So come check it out and enjoy the journey with me.
Oh yeah. And so as you mentioned, a lot of people traveled. That fight for PFL was in Orlando. You're training out of Deerfield or Fight Sport Deerfield Beach. You got Coach GZ over there, and your teammate Kenley was on that card with you. So how does that
Yeah.
camp and that how does that really impact you, and how has that made you the fighter you are today?
Um, I mean, you're always learning something. If we're just going to talk about the coaches, we're always learning something. Our coaches have great experience in the fight field. Jay Z himself is just a legend himself back in Japan and everything like that. And who he's fought, who he's won over, and just he's still competitive now. He's just won a fight with a spinning heel kick, which is super. I mean, crazy kick to the low calf, and then came back around with the same leg, kick to the face with the spinning heel kick, and I was like, wow, that was an amazing move. And you just constantly learning, and able to evolve each day as you go train. And the thing about the fight was with Kinley is that it wasn't planned. It wasn't actually something that was supposed to happen. Kinley picked up that fight last minute. So it wasn't so much as, okay, Kinley and I are fighting today. It's more of I was fighting and Kinley was coming to come help me out to, sweat it out before weigh-ins, get my nerves gone and everything like that, just so that, when I fight, I have a great time. And once we realized that, once we got the call, not even a call, to talk to, we got stopped by one of the matchmakers for PFL, asked Kinley if he wanted to fight. And of course, we didn't agree right away. You got to see what's going on. What's the benefits for us for taking such a last minute fight? And everything sounded good. And when he accepted the fight, it was more of let's go. Now I have my brother with me. So there's nothing that could stop us. There's nothing to stop this duo. So we're gonna go out there and we're gonna put it on the show and make sure that one of us at least wins this contract.
And so not only did one of you guys win the contract, you both won your fight. You both did it in an impressive manner. Kenley's now been back to the PFL, and his career trajectory is skyrocketing. This poster
Yeah.
right here got Kenley right there. So what's it like for you training, one of your main training partners, Kenley's up there with you. You guys both won. You both are one step closer to achieving your dream. What's that
Yeah.
moment like for you?
It's awesome because in the beginning when he started off at the gym probably a couple months before I had, and we just ever since we got there we've been next to each other, training against each other. We're practically the same size. I'm a bit bigger than he is, but we're practically the same size. And when we're training together, it's like we're always just putting it out there, like we're going to be the best. Like this is it. Like we're going to be the best, and to get to the point where we are touching it, I would say we're at that level now. We're not the best yet, but we're much closer than we were when we started. You know what I mean? So it feels great. It feels a bit satisfying.
Oh yeah, and I know you're not done. I know the work's just started from there. And so I really want to talk about that matchup for you. You were facing Eric Alakin, 7-0 undefeated fighter at the time. That was definitely a hard matchup for you. So what was that fight like going into it, and before, during, and after?
To be honest, Let me be honest. Before the fight, they gave me an opponent, and I was like, Eric Alec, and what are the nerves? Because he has an O next to his number, 7-0, 5-0, 6-0. Who cares? Someone has to lose their O, and I know damn well it's not going to be me. So the training, the prep before the fight camp is, keep yourself humble to know that he has the O for a reason. Okay, he's not to be taken lightly. But at the same time, don't let that stop you from doing what you have to do and taking that O from him. And with that mindset going into training camp, it was constantly respecting my opponent. So going at your training camp with everything you got, even when I'm not at the gym, most of the time, if I'm not at the gym, I'm training outside of the gym constantly. So it's not that like, even if I'm at training, my training camp doesn't stop once I leave that door. It's still going. It's still going mentally, physically, mainly mentally. That's the big game. The mental game of how are you gonna go into this cage? How are you going to fight? Are you gonna let the nerves get you and you're gonna make mistakes? You gotta replay the fight hundreds of times in your head just to make sure that you are ready for any possible outcome that can happen. And when it came out my way, of course, I really wanted to knock out or at least TKO, but I didn't get it happen. You can't get everything you want. But, I was, grateful that I was still able to, keep my O and again, take away another O from someone else.
Oh yeah. And so you win the unanimous decision. It was a really good fight, impressive fight. I mean, you showed your skills everywhere, not just standing up, because I know you wanted that TKO or that KO, but you showed your defense on the ground and your offense as well. And then, so now you're stepping back into the octagon, and they're about to announce it. The two people that step forward for the chance for the contract, and they say your name and Kenley's name. What's that moment like for you?
Again, awesome. It was amazing. It was a beautiful moment because, like I said, we've been talking about it together since for as long as I remember, since we started at Fight Sports together, at being at the top. And the night before, we were saying, "Man, what if it's just down to us?" When it comes to it, because he accepted the fight the night before. Then that night when we're in the hotel room, we're like, before sleeping, we're like, "Man, what if it's down to us?" I'm like, you know what? It's going to be down to us. So if you could see, I mean, if you replay it and watch it, you could see I'm like talking to Kinley and we're like talking back and forth and we're nodding because we're saying, remember we were saying this the night before? Look at it happening right now. And it was crazy. It was like, man, we said it. We made it happen. I'm not going to say we manifested anything. We didn't manifest anything. We made it happen. I mean, we prayed. I prayed to God constantly and God opened the doors, God opened the doors.
And you guys definitely earned that moment. And so for you, did you know that you were getting that contract?
I knew. Oh yeah, without no doubt. I was like, if it's anything, if it's anything in life, I know I'm going to be the best in the world. I know, like everything that I do, I know it's gonna happen. Is it me being cocky? You can take it however you want to take it. Take it however you want to take it. You don't see how hard I'm training, how much I'm putting into this. I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, but their life isn't my worry. My life is my worry. So with that mindset, I'm going to have it. Yeah, it's my time to shine. Yeah, I'm here for a reason. And yeah, I'm going to get it.
And you did get it. And so now what are we seeing going forward? What's the next step for Thad Jean?
I have a fight in August for PFL. And one of the undercards for their championship or their semifinals. So that's gonna be cool. They have a fight in June. They didn't want me on the card June. I want to be on that card, but you know what? You gotta slow down and let God's plan play out. So so I'm not gonna be on the June card, so I'll be on the August card, and I'm just training, so it doesn't matter. So it's just if you're not there, do what you have to do in the meantime.
Absolutely. Do we know who we're fighting just yet?
No, not yet.
And that doesn't matter at all because the training never can stop.
Yeah, ready for anyone and ready for anyone and ready at any time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so you're coming back to that fight in August. And I really want to take it a step back before you get into the cage. What you do, you have a personality. You're not just a fighter. you're a man of strong morals is what I've learned from you in my experience around you and doing a lot of research. And then you get into the cage and you do a little gorilla walk and you just snap into it. So can you tell me a little about the nickname, the Silverback, and your entrance and your mindset?
Yeah, man, I'm locked in. I am locked in. When I tell you I'm locked in, I'm like, yo, I'm a very nice guy. I'm a very nice guy when it comes before the cage, and like you can talk all your shit all you want to. I'm gonna talk shit back, but I'm not gonna like trying to aggressively fight you or anything like that. But once it comes to like the time, when it comes to that me walking in a cage, it's boom, I'm walking through and I'm doing that gorilla walk because I'm like, now I'm taking off my human skin and coming into my beast. Like I'm now I'm the silverback. Now I'm the gorilla. I am going to pounce on my opponent. That's me. And you can see like every time I'm looking my opponent straight in his eyes. I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at him straight in his eyes. I mean, I was looking at Eric Allican and I forgot his coach with the dreads. Well, his teammate with the dreads, the black guy. He was looking at me, talking to Eric, into Eric's ears, and I can remember I'm just staring at both of them like, I'll fight both of you right fucking now. I don't care. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's you. I don't care if it's him. I don't care if it's the both of you. I'm ready for whatever, And it's like, it's just the mentality that when you're in the cage, when you're outside the cage, yeah, okay, be a cool guy, be someone that people can relate to, and then when you're in the cage, be someone who's fearless that people can look up to. Like that's the way I want to be in my everyday life. When I'm at work, that's my job. When I'm at work, I want to be fearless. I want to be able to get anything I want, make any sell I want or anything like that. And the way I came up with the silverback and why that's my nickname is because I was having a lucid dream one day, and as I was walking, the the spirits walking with me, which I would say my guardian angels were silverback gorillas, an albino and a regular black one, just walking with me. And I was, it was crazy, just and they're huge. And from there, one day I was asked, "What is going to be your nickname?" And I was like, you know what? Let's do it with them. Let's do Silverback, the Silverback, because I want to be like the guardian angels in my dream.
I love that. That's awesome. And so for you now, it's kind of like you step into that phone booth and you come out with your Superman cape on. You're just ready to
Yeah,
go.
I'm ready to go. Exactly what it is. Honestly, you have one personality, but when it's time to get down to it, I mean, you gotta shed the skin. You gotta do something else.
And
Gotta
so
put the
where do you
cape
get
on.
this? Oh, my fault. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying you gotta put the cape on.
Oh yeah. And that cape is worn. I mean, every time you've been in the cage, now you're undefeated. And I don't see any reason why that's going to change. And so for me, I want to know where you get that mindset from.
Other than my dad, but Jesus. I'll tell you right now, it's Jesus. Like people say, who do you look up to? Man, I look up to Jesus, bro. Like if you look at Jesus in the Bible, yes, Jesus is a loving guy, but Jesus was a excuse my cursing, but a gangster, bro. He was a gangster. Like he knew what he was about. Like he came down here with a purpose, and with that purpose, like we all have our own purpose. Like I made this my purpose, and with that purpose, he fulfilled it, and I want to fulfill this. And with that, you only have one track mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna get it done. I'm not gonna let nobody get in my way. I'm gonna get it done. And with that, it's like me. I'm gonna get it done. I'm not gonna let nobody get in my way. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna deliver the message. However I have to do. If I have to beat it into you, then I guess I'll have to do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I look up to Jesus, man.
And so when you get in that cage, what's going through your head then?
I don't know. I don't really think there's really much going in my head. Like it's I would say before going into the cage, there's a lot going on. It's like, what if I get knocked out? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I slip? What if he catches me with a heel hook? What if, because I was going against Eric and I'm like, what if he catches me with a heel hook? What if he chokes me? What if he takes me down and stays on top and mauls me? But then after that, that's all the voices in your head that tries to distract you. And then like I said, once I go into that gorilla walk, it's, bro, what are you doing? Shut up. We went through this. Shut up. Get your mind right. and do what has to be done. And let's it's only 15 minutes, 25 minutes max. Maybe. Let's do what we have to do, collect our check, and go home. Let's do what I got to do. Come on. You're wasting time. Well,
Yes,
that's what
sir.
it is.
Yes, sir. And so for me, we just mentioned a second ago, you're undefeated, but as an amateur, you took a couple losses. And
Yeah.
so how do you think that really impacted you and your career?
I think the losses evolved me, honestly. Like, so my first loss, okay, so before going into MMA, I had three Muay Thai kickboxing matches. Didn't lose one. I was like, oh, I'm the best. No one can touch me. I can't be touched. No one can touch me. This mindset is poisonous. This mindset is poisonous. To think you are on top of the world and nobody can touch you is a poisonous mindset. But I didn't think of it like that. I'm young. I'm into this, and I'm like, bro, all right, let's do MMA. I do jujitsu. I'm a blue belt. I tap purple belts all the time. I could do this. Go into MMA, win my first match. Oh, it's over with at that point. I won my first match as well, bro. I'm a monster. And so from there, my second match, I lose because the guy keeps wrestling me. He wrestles, takes me down. But from there, it was so close that it could be like it could have went either way. And because it could have went either way, and we all hear, oh, people have to lose, greats have to lose sometime. That was hitting me. That saying kept hitting me, and it made me think, okay, I guess you have to lose sometimes. All right, God, I'll give you that. I lost once, whatever. I'm still the best. No one can touch me. From there, I went on to win again, then win again, and then I went against Roman Ferraldo. And went into that match not thinking, not respecting my opponent, didn't add any wrestling to my game. I didn't, oh, I get so upset, like thinking about, like, I didn't take it seriously. I took it seriously. Of course, when I get into the cage, I always take it seriously. But the preparation to the cage, I didn't take it seriously enough. Before I'm going to the beach, it was New Year's, or July 4th. It was one of those types of things, or spring break, because there's a lot of people at the beach. We're wrestling. We're all having a good time. Just just not focusing on I have a fight in a couple of days or a week, and get to the match. It's his crowd, my crowd. It's as you can see, I bring a crowd, and it was like they were getting ready to fight in the stands, him against ours, and that was feeding me, and I was like, oh man, I'm ready to go, and. And Roman, Roman, he's a character too. He gets on top of the cage and goes, ah, and that gets me crazy. I'm like, oh, whatever. All right, then what's up? And that was a great fight, back and forth. But again, takes me down because I did not do anything to fix my wrestling. I did nothing to fix my MMA. I only did my striking. I only stuck to my striking, and then jiu-jitsu. When you're doing MMA, it's mixed martial arts. It's not 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, I should say. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's everything in between, everything in the beginning, and everything in the end. Everything. And I was focusing on 1 and 3, 1 and 5, jiu-jitsu and striking. Punching, okay, we're striking together. All right, he takes me down. He's holding me. Good wrestler can hold you. Doesn't matter how good your wrestling, your jiu-jitsu is. He can hold you, and you do your jiu-jitsu. This is MMA. He punches you. You're not gonna just be able to move as comfortably as you want. So when I lost that fight, man, that took me somewhere else, man. That fight right there, that's when God told me, sit the fuck down, get off your high horse, sit on the ground, get on your knees, and humble yourself. And from there, it's everything. From there, it's everything. And since then, I haven't lost again. And since then, I've been training constantly since then. And even if you don't see it, my coaches don't see it, my family doesn't see it, I'm training. And it's not, let me not say it, I'm training 24/7. It's either if I'm not training physically, I'm training mentally. Not training mentally or physically, I'm training spiritually. It's a constant training because of that fight. And I'm not gonna say I'll never lose again. But as you said, I don't see it in my future.
Yes, sir. And that's the mentality that you need. And you mentioned a lot of that training. And so I've noticed it. I follow you on Instagram. So I've noticed it a little bit. I mean, and I saw a video earlier today. Julio Arce was at the gym. RoboCop you've trained with. I think I've seen Gilbert Burns. So what have you really changed in your training since coming to these realizations in your amateur career?
Um, Training. One is wrestling. Wrestling was the biggest one. I started training my wrestling. Um, the second one was the mental preparation before each fight, each day. Just going into it with the mindset of I am a baby trying to learn. I am a toddler going to learn. I know nothing and I want to learn something. That's how I go every time. I know nothing and I want to learn something. That's how I go into everything that I learn or try to learn. And with that, being more open to training outside of my comfort zone, training like what you said, RoboCop, Gilbert Burns, and those big guys. RoboCop is a monster. I don't care what nobody says. This motherfucker's huge. Okay, he's a great guy, but when he's throwing those punches, boom, boom, it hits. And so training with him, made me realize, okay, another thing, these guys can hit. There's a different level to this. Okay, then going on to training with Gilbert, I'm thinking my jiu-jitsu is great. Gilbert Burns takes me down. Bro, he's in the same weight class as me. I felt like this guy was a heavyweight. How much he smashed me and stayed on top. I felt like, you ever heard of like waterboarding, like what they do
Yeah.
to like, I felt like I was getting waterboarded. I was like drowning. Bro, I was like, geez, this is the level I want to get to. I'm not as good as I think I am. You're never as good as you think you are. And when people say that, it's like, it's not to tell you not to hate on you, but hey, maybe you can get better. And if there's that possibility, why not, man?
Absolutely. And I first want to say, it's crazy that you're comparing Gilbert Burns to waterboarding because there's a reason why you don't hear about waterboarding happening in real life. That is
Yeah.
not something that anybody wants done to
No, you don't want to go through that. Don't want to go through that. And it's crazy because I'm telling you, the technique this man showed me when he was on top and um pause when he was on top of me and I was trying to like use my muscles, use technique to get out too, but he just was a step ahead of me each time, and I was like, all right, there's levels to this. You know what I mean? He's a world champion in jiu-jitsu for a reason.
And so you've learned these things, you've had these experiences. What do you envision as your next step to level up and to get on that level?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't even tell you because I'll say something and then God has a different plan for me. I'll say, "Oh, I'll go to this gym and I'll do great," and then I never get to go to the gym because God has a different door for me or a different opportunity for me. So I'll say, day by day, ready to learn something new or to sharpen what I've already learned the day before.
And it's all about getting 1% better every day.
1% better every day.
And I love it. And then that path to the belt, I mean, I know that's probably got to be that eventual goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal for sure.
And
It's the
so
goal for
we're looking at that PFL title shot, hopefully in the near future through the tournament. What would you say your approach is going to be as you move forward and continue moving up and getting those opportunities?
pick it one step at a time. Don't like, okay, of course, the future, the belt is the future. The belt is the goal. The belt is the tip of the iceberg that I want. But again, before I get to the top, I have to, you know, climb. I have to stick my pikes into the ice walls before I could get to the top of it. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take each opponent before I get to that belt level, before I get to that championship fight. And I'm going to dissect my opponents, and I'm going to, in Jesus' name, conquer each one of them.
Absolutely. And so we've talked a little bit about now the future aspirations, you know, wanting to get to that title and wanting to succeed. I want to know really about the beginning. How did MMA become something that you, as you said, is going to be your path?
So reason I even got into fighting is because I hurt my knee playing football. And like I said before, that's why, like, when you just asked me the question of um where do I see myself? How do I vision myself getting there to the best? Is like, and I said, one day at a time, because I say one thing and then something else happens. I wanted to be an NFL star. I wanted to be a running back.
Let's
Look at
go
me
Ravens.
now. Let's go Cowboy. Look at me now. And, and it's like we could say things, we could want things, but what what's planned for us may not be what we wanted or what we thought would be, but is always better for us in the end. So why I got into fighting is that I've always watched anime growing up. Everybody watches anime. If you don't watch anime, go do better. I've always watched anime growing up, and everybody wanted to be as cool as Goku or Naruto or Inuyasha, just a good fighter. You know what I mean? And play fighting games. But I hurt my knee, and then my brother's friend referred me to jujitsu. I went to jujitsu and got destroyed. And I was like, damn, I love this. I got destroyed. And I went to, and then a couple months later, not even a couple months, a couple weeks later, some guy came in and showed me Muay Thai, who was like a drifting person. You know, like those drifting senseis? This is legit what it was. Like a drifting guy who came around, stopped at the gym, trained for a bit, and was like, "Hey, do you want me to train you how to do Muay Thai?" Learn Muay Thai from him. And in the first 6 months of my training, starting anything, I had my first Muay Thai fight because I trained constantly. From there, I had my first fight in Key West, and when I heard my mom and everyone scream my name, I was like, I love this. I'm gonna be the best at this. And when I say the best at this, I mean the best at fighting in general. And the best, how do I get the best at fighting in general? General fighting is MMA.
And so
I'll
now
be
you're
the
doing
best.
it all.
Yep.
I love that. And I feel like for you, I mean, coming in with that athletic background, with that football background, it's got to give you such a big advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I played football, soccer, played baseball for one season, but not I mean, I didn't like baseball because playing outfield was way too boring. Um
I was
if
a
you weren't
baseball kid
pitcher,
growing up, and it's boring.
I mean, if you weren't pitcher or if you weren't hitting the ball or a catcher, you're bored. I don't know what you can't tell me anything otherwise. You're bored. And
Or you're hungry and you're eating sunflower seeds.
exactly. You got to do something to keep yourself busy from just zoning out entirely. But I played football, soccer, baseball for a season. I played basketball. I mean, I used to play sports every chance, every season I was playing something. When one
Absolutely.
finished, I played the next one. When one finished, I played the next. It was like that. It was constant.
And you said you were a running back in football?
Yeah,
You're a big dude.
yeah. I haven't always been this big. I was like legit, like sprouted after like 18. I started sprouting.
Whatever
Yeah,
you eat, I need some of that.
yeah. I mean, my mom's food, Haitian food. Once you start putting it in your system, you won't go back to anything else.
I hear that.
There you go.
I love that. And
Have you
so
played football yourself?
I did. I played in high school. I played 4 years. I played a little bit of quarterback, a little bit of linebacker, and then I also busted up my knee playing flag football here at college. And my athletic career has fizzled out since then.
Yeah, man. And why are you a Ravens fan?
Baltimore. I'm originally born and raised in Baltimore.
Okay. Because you're like my
So
friend. My two best friends are Baltimore fans, Ravens.
it's a great team to love. And we're
Yeah.
gonna have a big year. Cowboys look good though. I'll give it to the Cowboys. They look dangerous.
We'll see. I'm done with them right now. I'm done with them
Season
right now.
comes up. It's coming soon.
Yeah. Jeez. Fucking Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, it's all good. We're actually coming to the end of our time here today. So I got one last question. I really like to ask this to everybody. And so I just want to ask you if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice. It's a little bit of a cliche question, but if you can give
Yeah.
yourself some advice back in time with all your experiences that you've gotten now, what would you tell yourself?
If we're not going to talk about investing in stock, then then I don't know. What would I tell myself? I don't know. I think everything happens for a reason. I'd probably say what I was thinking was maybe I go back and tell myself not to play football on the day I hurt my knee. But if I didn't play football and I didn't hurt my knee, then I would have never learned about fighting, and this would have never happened. And I don't know. I
You
don't
know,
know.
that's great though, because you've got that mentality, that mindset, and that's what's really going to help you thrive and separate you from your competition. And so I'm very impressed with that.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. And
Thank
thank you for your time. For everybody out there, follow my guy on social media. Tune in for that fight in August on PFL. I'm sure he
you.
won't disappoint.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jack. I appreciate you having me on your show, having me on this talk. It was awesome, and I hope it blows up.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much. This is going to close out us for today.
Have a good day, brother.